Okay, so I am very excited for us to be on the next module. And today we're going to be speaking about your own events. And this is something where, we've really worked up to this point. We started off when it came to, our marketing with doing stuff that was in person, whether that was speaking engagements, whether that was direct outreach, networking events. And we moved to, eventually doing trade shows and working that aspect of our marketing and really kind of building up our lead flow and putting people into our database, into our CRM. And now we're at the point where we're really self-sufficient, where we do have a database where we can go out to people and get them to show up to an event. And we can speak in front of them and turn those people into leads. And that's what we're really going to speak about today, is exactly what does that process look like, what's involved in that process, and exactly what we need to do to make sure that we can start really scaling our tax business and really start turning these leads into clients. So let's dig into that right now. So today what we're going to cover is what are live events and what exactly goes into live events. We're going to look at how do we start to run our own live events and what does the execution look like, what goes into running a live event, and what is our end goal of our event / our platform. So those are the 4 areas that we're going to look at today and really dig into so we can get more of an understanding of exactly how this system and process works and exactly what we need to do to execute. So let's look at exactly what are live events and what goes into something like this. So this is a photo of one of our live events that we actually did for one of our consultancy firms when we started really building out the model. And as you can see, we have about maybe 60, 70 folks that are at this actual event right here. We have classroom style seating. They're looking towards the projector where we have a screen up, and Karla's presenting on a certain topic that was of interest. And for us, we really focused on the real estate investor niche. So it had to do with different tax advantages that you can take when you're a real estate investor. And that was our niche, and your niche might be totally different. You might be doing dentistry or chiropractors or optometry or whatever the case may be. But that's what we're looking to do. We're looking to basically bring out a ton of prospects to our events, have the opportunity to speak in front of them and turn those people into really great hot leads. If you're able to close, 10, 15 people within this room on your tax services, with a decent size engagement agreement, you're going to be doing some pretty great revenue for yourself. And this is something that you can do every single month. You can do it multiple times a month if you would like, but this is something where you don't have to wait for a trade show anymore. Trade shows are maybe 4 times, 5 times a year. You could run your own events every single month, 2 times a month, and really start controlling your lead flow and what you do. So that's why it's one of the most important things that we look at doing to truly start to scale your tax business. So if we look at exactly kind of where we've come from and where we started, we always go back to the evolution of your marketing and your practice and kind of what you have to do in the beginning and where you want to scale to. So in the beginning, you always start off with networking events. Whether you're doing small talks, you're doing direct outreach, you're doing speaking engagements, that's where you start off with. That's where you start getting your name, your word out there. You start refining your pitch, and you really start, getting a few clients under your belt. Once you do that, you start moving to trade shows. When you start moving to trade shows, that's where you're really going to start picking up and getting lead flow. You should already have cash in your pocket. You should be able to afford a trade show. And from there, you might have, 4 trade shows a year that might accumulate, between 60 to 80, qualified leads. And those leads are going to go into your email database. And some of those people might close, but some of those people might not close. So what you're going to do is you're going to start having your own live events. And when you have your own live events, you're going to start emailing those people who are in your database that you've met from networking events, talks, or direct outreach that you've done through trade shows, or just through meeting people. You're going to email those people and you're going to invite them out to a live event where you're going to be speaking on a certain topic. And you're going to have the opportunity, if they didn't close the first time, to close once you have that event. And as well, you're going to have new prospects that come to your own live events because you're speaking on a subject that's interesting to people that are within your niche. So once we, start having our own live events, we move to our digital strategy, which is where we really start advertising via LinkedIn, via Facebook, and really start generating leads that way, and really start, putting some automation into our business once we've kind of scaled to get to that point. So those are the evolution of how we really grow and scale a 7-figure tax firm and exactly what we're trying to do. And that's kind of the way the system works. So we're really going to dig into your own live events now and start looking at exactly how that system works and how it should play out. So what are live tax events? Okay, so a live event is where we invite people to a location where we will hear, or they will hear us speak on a certain educational subject that might be of interest to them. You will have about 45 minutes speaking on a certain tax subject that will educate and probe questions in your audience. You will look to the end of the event with getting back a 30-minute consultation card so you can turn those leads into tax clients. So what we're really trying to do when it comes to these live events is we're trying to take all the people that are in our email system, then any other people, any other possible new people that we can get, and I'll show you exactly the strategies that we're going to do. And we're going to want to invite them out to a 45-minute speech. That 45-minute speech is where you're speaking on a certain tax subject. What type of entity should you choose if you own a chiropractic business to help you save on taxes? That's a speech topic and a speech that we could create for an event. It speaks exactly to our demographic. We're going to speak on a subject that we know most people are confused on, and it's something that's going to probe questions within our audience. Should I be an LLC or should I be an S corp? And that's the perfect segue into setting up a 30-minute consultation. And at the end of every single event, we want to look at getting back those 30-minute consultation cards, because those 30-minute consultation cards, those are gold to us. That's where we go back to the office. We give those folks a call the next day, and we try to get them scheduled on our calendar so we can have a 30-minute consultation with them and really dig into their tax situation. So that's what we're looking at when we're creating these live tax events, and that's what our core goal is. So what are the advantages and disadvantages of having a live event? So let's dig into those now. So when it comes to the advantages, you're able to get in front of your target audience and have them captivated for 45 minutes. When you're able to have the opportunity, the two things that people exchange in life are they'll either give you your time or they'll give you money. Those are the two most valuable things that you could ever get from a prospect. If they're willing to be on a 30-minute call and actually book you on their calendar, that's valuable. If they're able to exchange money with you, that's valuable, right? It's one thing for them to download something, okay? It's another thing for them to take 45 minutes out their day, drive to your location. It's just a higher level of commitment. And once you have people who are able to sit in front of you for 45 minutes, they're more committed to you. They're more committed to whatever you have to say and teach. And they're going to be more committed to when it comes down to you pitching them on tax services. And because they're more bought in at that point. They're willing to sit down and give you their time. That's how you're able to close those leads so quickly. The advantage is it's a lot easier to close a prospect when you get them to a live event. Exactly what we were talking about. There's something about being in front of a person, being able to speak to them, for you to build instant rapport with them, for them to feel more comfortable. You can really get a person to close extremely quickly, compared to a person that you meet online. It takes a little bit more time because they just don't know you, right? Another advantage is any prospect you didn't close the first time, usually around 50% of them will close from another touch at a live event. And that's why this is so important. You might go to trade shows, you might go to speaking events. I mean, when you're first starting your tax business, you probably can't even count on one finger how many times that, you spoke to people, but you weren't able to close them. Most people will quit on the first time. That's not how this structure is set up. That's not the case. A lot of those folks who didn't close, they just weren't ready at that point in time. But if you invite them out to a live event, sit them down, teach them on a certain subject, those people will end up closing. 50% of them will end up closing. And that's more revenue in your pocket that you wouldn't have been able to get if you weren't thinking like this, you know? So it's very important to clean up, all those people that you've spoken to but didn't close. That's one other advantage that you get from a live event. You're able to clean those up. You're able to close those type of people, which is very important. The next thing is, you own the event and you can set it up however you like. It's your platform. This is your event. It's no longer a trade show where you have to follow different guidelines, rules, and this and that and that and this. You set the rules. It's your live event. However you want to set it up, however you want to pitch your services, however you want to do whatever you want to do, you can do it that way. You own the room, you own the time, and you run the show. And that's one of the most powerful things that you could have. The next thing is you can do it as many times as you please based on your revenue goals. Like I said, with trade shows, you're only able to do trade shows maybe 4 times, 5 times a year based on they're not every single month. When it comes to a live event, you can do this as often as you want. If you want to do them 2 times a month, do them 2 times a month. You want to start just doing 1 time a month, do it 1 time a month. But you can basically dictate what you want to do and set your goals based on your revenue. Because you're going to know once you start doing events a couple times, your closing rate, and from there, you're going to be able to grow and scale as you please. And to have that power is extremely powerful. And that's how you can really scale your business. So let's talk about the disadvantages now. So you have to pay for a location. You usually have to book a speaking room, hotel speaking room. And so that's one disadvantage. You can look at it as a disadvantage or you can look at it as an opportunity. But you're going to have to look for a location unless you have a location at your office. But if you don't, you're going to want to book a speaking room at a hotel, and they're not too expensive. The next thing is you're going to have to at least have over 300 people on your email list. That is extremely, extremely important. Because you're not going to be able to get enough people to register and enough people to actually show up if you have less than 300 people on your email list. Okay? So you really want to work till you get at least 300 people on your email list before you can start this. Because we got to get people to the actual event. That's the whole point. And if you're over 300 people, you'll be fine, but you need at least 300 people in your email database before you can start something like this. The next thing is you have to take time out of your day to do this. This isn't something where you set it and forget it. You have to physically show up. You have to, be in a certain location at a certain time, and you got to execute. It's not something that is just done online. It's something that you have to actually show up and do. And the next thing you have to do is you have to speak in front of people. Whether you like that or you don't like that, that's something that you definitely have to do. And to me, it's a great opportunity because you get to speak on something that and you get to really, really hone in on a certain subject, and for them to look at you as an authority on the subject. So that's a great part about it. So again, let's take a look at our client acquisition model. So again, we always go back to this process. And this is the model that we really build our business on. So we have our events that we do, and events can really be from trade shows. They can be from, just networking to our own live events. And what we do is we push them to a 15-minute chat to set up an appointment. So after you get done with that live event and you get your consultation cards back, you're going to want to give those people a call the next day and try to set them up with an appointment on your calendar. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to send them a survey that they're able to fill out so you can get back some great quality information. Then from there, you have your 30-minute sales call where you really dig into the process, understand exactly what they have going on, and you really get to see how you can help them save money, and you're going to turn them into a client. Same thing with digital methods. Once we get there, once you generate a lead, you'll call those leads, you'll send them a survey, and you'll set up that call so you can really turn that lead into a client. So that's the real process and what we're trying to do. So just to remind all of you, it always goes back to this client acquisition model and really focusing on this and understanding that this is what feeds our business. This is exactly what's going to grow our business. is just putting people through this client acquisition process all day long. Wherever we get our leads from, they will always go through this process. It does not matter. Always, 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 okay? So now let's look at how do we start to run our live events and exactly what does that look like. So when it comes to how do we start running our live events and what goes into that, the first thing is we're actually going to create an event topic and book a venue. So before we can really even start thinking about, putting the process together and putting everything together, is we really need to create an event topic and book a venue. That's kind of the start of this whole entire process. The next process is we got to create a landing page, and all that is just a mini website where people can go to and register for the event. Following that, we're going to send an email to our list inviting them to the event, and we're just going to send them to that mini website so they're able to register for the event. Then on the day of the event, we're going to show up, we're going to teach on the subject, and we're going to collect our leads at the end, and that's what we're going to do. Then at the end of the event, the next day, we're going to follow up with our leads and get those leads booked on the calendar. So that's the full process and what we're looking at and what we're doing. And now we're going to dig into this a little bit deeper. Then throughout the training, we'll kind of dig into all these and show you exactly what you need to do to get this off the ground and get this thing up and running, so you're able to really, really get yourself in a position where you can start doing some amazing things. So the first thing is to create an event topic and book a venue. So at the crux of a great event is a great topic. Our first step is figuring out what event topic do we think our audience will want to listen to, and we will pull people out to see us speak on a certain subject. So when it comes to any type of event, our event topic is probably one of the most important things, because that's, at the end of the day, that's what people are taking time out of their day to drive, to come down here, to spend the next 45 minutes to an hour with us to hear us speak on a certain subject. That's what they're looking to do. Okay? So for us, we have to ensure that our event topic is good enough for people to take time out of their day to come down and want to hear us speak. And it's all about creating a good angle. If you remember the content creation process is exactly what this process is when it comes to really creating any type of topic, whether it's an ebook, webinar, whatever the case may be, event, it doesn't matter. The content creation process is the exact same thing that you're going to do for your event topic. And it's about creating an angle, which is a topic that is interesting, clever, and people have questions around. So again, when I just kind of came up with that topic, how to pick and choose the right entity for your dentist practice to ensure you pay less in tax, something around those lines. Most, dentist practices probably don't know if they're in the right entity solution. They don't know if they should be an LLC or an S Corp, and they're probably not sure how they should structure their entity to make sure that they're paying the least amount in taxes. And that's a subject that most dentist practitioners will probably come out and listen to and see what it's all about. Once that is complete, we feel like we have a good topic, we will now book the hotel venue. We'll lock down the date and the time for our event. So once we kind of get that figured out, that's the second process. We'll book the venue. We'll make sure we have our date and our time set up, and we'll basically start moving forward with that process. But that's what you really want to do in the beginning, is really create a great event topic, then look at booking the event. And that's kind of the first process that we want to take. The next process is we want to create a landing page. You will now create a website with all the event information that we will talk about at your event. Very important. It will have your location, overview, key points, and you'll be speaking about on the webpage, and the location where they can register for the event. It's going to have all this information, which is incredibly important, because we need a place where people can actually register so we can have a list of people who we know are actually going to be at our event. That's very important. You will as well post your event on top websites where you can get other people to register for the event that are not in your network. So we're going to, definitely go out to different websites where people are looking for different events, and we're going to post our events there as well. So that's going to be very important as well, to make sure we're getting new leads within our business, so we can make sure that we're growing and scaling as well. Okay. Next is we're going to send an email invite to your list. So you're going to create an email invite in your CRM system. So right now we've been using the Active Campaign, and you'll send it out to your list and get them to sign up for the event. You will need to at least have over 300 plus email subscribers. You will start your marketing for your event about 1 week prior to the event. Within our studies and doing this for a long time, and the clients that we work with and them doing events for their clients and different things like that, we've noticed that marketing the event 1 week prior seems to have the best show up rates, because it's something that it's within distance. People know they can plan for it. It's within 7 days. When you start getting past the 7-day mark, 14-day, 21-day mark, people tend to forget about it. Unless they're paying for an event, they won't forget about it. But since our event is free, we have to really get people to really want to show up. So about a week prior is something that they can look forward to. Then you'll continue emailing your list until a day before the actual event. You'll email them every single day, letting them know that, hey, we have an event. This is our event information. These are the benefits. This is why you should show up. And this is the exact date. And we hope to see you there. Then the next step is you will come into the event. You'll set up the room with your marketing material and PowerPoint. At that point, you'll start the event. You'll speak on the topic as you promised. You will then start going towards your pitch, and you will push for a 30-minute consultation. You will then go back to your office and follow up with those leads and get them booked on your calendar and close them. And that'll be the process that you work through once you start to close on the event. So what is the end goal of our event, and what exactly are we trying to do? So the goal of our event is you want to turn leads that you have come in contact into tax clients. That's our goal. So any leads that we've come in contact with through, direct outreach, through networking events, speaking events, trade shows, whatever the case may be, we want to turn those leads into tax clients, because those leads are going to be in our CRM. And a lot of those people have not closed. And the goal of this event is to get those people we've come in contact with to turn into tax clients. Your second goal is you want to get new faces you have not seen before to come to your events for the first time. That's very, very important. So that's why we're going to post on different websites where people are looking for events, to make sure that we can get new faces within the door. Okay? The third goal, we want to deliver great value to your audience, whether it's existing clients, which we will turn into upsells. When you go to your database, you're going to everybody in your database. So some of the clients that are your clients right now are going to show up to this event. That's perfectly fine. We're okay with that, because those existing clients are going to get amazing value, and they're going to end up giving you upsells to do, more work for them. So if we were, doing the dentist event where we're teaching them about how to set up the correct entity, and they might have already done tax planning with us, maybe they want to set up a new entity with us, and we do an entity formation for them. So there's certain things that you can look at. You're going to have multiple upsell opportunities with this. And the next thing is you're going to want to teach on a great subject, because word of mouth will get out about you leading to more business and referrals. So when you teach on great subjects, people enjoy what you do. People will speak, people will talk. And it's a great way for you to start getting referrals and getting more business. And those are the 4 goals of our event. And that's exactly what we're going to try to do when it comes to every single event that we do. Okay? So now let's dig into how we can get your own live event up and running, so you can start generating those leads. And that's what we'll be working through on the next couple modules, and we'll start getting that rocking and rolling for yourself. Okay? See you on the opposite end.